My parents were not the type of people who went to bed at a regular hour. Sleep overtook them, but neither the idea of time nor the idea of a mattress seemed very important. My father favored the chair in the basement, but my mother was apt to lie down anywhere. Waking up with carpet burns in her face, it was sort of embarrassing. But the upside to being raised while we were essentially a pair of house cats was that we never had any enforced bedtime. Every night was basically a slumber party. So, when the real thing came along, I failed to show much of an interest. 6th grade, a time when boys are discovering what sports they're going to play, what they're going to have for lunch, but most importantly, what girls they're going to date. David Sedaris, though, discovered something a little bit different in Full House by David Sedaris. The first one I attended was held by my neighbor named Walt Winters. Like me, Walt was in the 6th grade. Unlike me, he was gregarious and athletic, which meant basically that we had absolutely nothing in common.
But why would he invite me? I hardly know the guy,
I asked my mother. She did not say that Walt's mother had made him invite me, but this was the only likely explanation. And I tried my best to back out.
You're expecting me to spend the night with someone who curses? You're damn right I am. Now get the hell over there.
Aside from myself, there were 3 other guests at Walt's party. None of them were particularly popular, but each could hold on a playing field or in a discussion about cars. The talk started the moment I walked through the door. And while pretending to listen, I wish I could have been a little bit more honest.
What is the actual point of football? Is the V8 engine in any way related to the juice?
I wanted to ask, because they may as well have been talking backward. There were 4 different styles of houses on my street, and while Walt was different from my own, I was familiar with the layout. The slumber party took place in what the Methodists called the family room, and what the Catholics used as an extra bedroom, and what the neighborhood's only Jews turned into a combination darkroom fallout shelter. Walt's family is Methodist, so the room's focal point was a large black and white television. Family photos hung on the wall alongside pictures of various athletes. I admired them to the best of my ability, but I was more interested in the wedding portrait displayed above the sofa. Walt's mother looked deliriously, almost frighteningly happy. The bulging eyes, the fierce, guppy smile, it was an expression bordering on the line of hysteria. And the intervening years had done nothing to dampen it.
It's a seer,
She chimed when the delivery man came to the door.
Oh boys, how about some piping up pizza?
I thought it was funny that anyone would use the words piping hot in a sentence, but it wasn't the kind of thing I felt I should actually laugh at. But neither could I laugh at Mr. Winter's pathetic imitation of an Italian waiter. Mamma mia, who would another slice of the pizza? I had the idea that adults were supposed to make themselves so scarce at slumber parties, but Walt's parents were all over the place, initiating games, offering snacks and refills. And when the midnight horror movie came on, Walt's mother crept into the bathroom, leaving a ketchup-splattered knife beside the sink. An hour passed, and when none of us had yet to discover it, she started dropping little hints.
Oh, does anyone want to go wash their hands?
You just wanted to cry for people like her. But as corny as they were, I was sorry when the movie ended Mr. and Mrs. Winters stood to leave. She and her husband lumbered up the stairs, and when Walt felt certain that they were asleep, he pounced on Dale, shouting, "Titty twister!" Brad Clancy joined in, and when they finished, Dale raised his shirt, revealing his nipples to be as crimped and ruddy as pepperoni slices.
Oh my God!
I said, realizing too late this made me sound like a girl. The appropriate response was to laugh at Dale's misfortune, not flutter your hands in front of your face, screeching,
What if they touch your poor nipples? Shouldn't we put some ice on them?
Walt picked up on this immediately. Did you just say you wanted to put ice on Dale's nipples?
Well, not me personally. I mean, generally. As a group. Or Dale could do it himself if he felt like it.
Walt's eyes wandered from my face to my chest. And then the entire slumber party was upon me. My shirt was raised. A hand was clamped over my mouth. And then Walt latched onto my nipples. twisting them back and forth. But when I was finally freed, I went upstairs and I stood against the kitchen window, my arms folded lightly across my chest. My family's house is located in a ravine. You couldn't see it from the street, but I could just make out the glow of lights spilling out of the top of the driveway. It was tempting. But were I to leave now, I would never hear the end of it. The baby cried, the baby had to go home! Life at school would be unbearable. So, I left the window and I returned to the basement, where Walt was shuffling cards against the coffee table. Just in time. Have a seat. I lowered myself to the floor and reached for a magazine, trying my best to act casual.
I'm not really much for games. So if it's okay with you, I think I'll just watch.
Watch? Hell, this is strip poker. What kind of homo wants to sit around four guys get naked? The logic of this was lost on me.
Well, won't we all sort of be watching?
Looking, maybe, but not, watching. There is a big difference. To the rest of the group, a naked boy was like a lamp, nor a bath mat. Something so familiar and uninteresting that faded into the background. For me, though, it was different. A naked boy was what I desired more than anything on earth. And when you're both watching and desiring, things come up. One thing in particular that is bound to ruin your life forever.
I hate to tell you, but it's against my religion to play poker.
Shab, right, what are you, Baptist?
Greek Orthodox?
Well, that's a load of crap because the Greeks invented cards. Anyway, what your poobah does no one heard of. Just let the hell up and play. He dealt the cards, and I looked from face to face, exaggerating flaws, reminding myself that these boys did not like me. The hope was I might crush any surviving atom of attraction. But, as has been the case for my entire life, the more someone dislikes me, the more attracted they become. Usually, though, when I'm forced to compete, it's my tactic to simply give up. Here, though, surrender was not an option. I had to win a game I knew absolutely nothing about, which seemed almost hopeless until I realized we were all on equal footing. Not even Scott had the slightest idea what he was doing. So, by feigning the air of expertise, I thought I could manipulate things in my favor.
A joker and a queen is much better than a 4 and a 5 of spades.
I said, defending my hand. I thought you said poker was against your religion.
Well, that doesn't mean I don't understand it. The Greeks invented cards, remember? It's in my blood.
At the start of the game, the start was clocked for 3:30. An hour later, I was missing one shoe. Scott and Brad both lost their shirts. And both Walt and Dale were down to their underwear. Confidently in the lead, I invented little reasons for the dress to get up and move about the room.
Dale, would you go make sure those curtains are closed?
He crossed the room, and I ate him alive with my eyes, confident that no one would accuse me of staring. Things might have been different were I in last place, but as a winner, it was my right to make sure things were done properly. And it took a while, but after explaining that a pair of kings was no match for 2 of hearts and a 3 of spades, Walt surrendered his underpants. Okay, I'm not the only one getting naked. You guys have to keep playing.
While you do what? Sit back and watch? What kind of homo are you?
Walt refused to back down, so I gathered the deck and I tamped it commandingly on the tabletop.
The only solution is for us all to keep playing.
How the hell do you expect me to do that? In case you haven't noticed, there's nothing more for me to lose.